The United States hosted the 9th Summit of the Americas this week in Los Angeles. It was supposed to showcase the Biden administration's leadership in our hemisphere on immigration and climate and other outside influences like China. So was it a win or a flop for the administration? Joining us now is the vice chair of the America First Policy Institute Center for American Security, former chief of staff to the National Security Council, Fred Fleitz. Fred, good to see you. Thanks for making the time for us today. I don't know about you. I remember that when the President of the United States used to call people and say, hey, show up to a summit, people actually came. You actually showed up. This summit made news, first off, for who didn't come. Talk to us about that and the significance of that.
Well, Mexico wasn't there. How can there be a summit of the Americas when one of our major trading partners refuses to attend? I think there shouldn't have even been a summit without Mexico there. Mexico was angry that we did not want Venezuela and Cuba and I think El Salvador to attend. So it decided not to attend. But look, we have a very weak relationship with Mexico under this president. We know when Donald Trump was president, he laid the law down to the Mexican government. They stopped the illegal aliens from coming across the border. Biden hasn't done that. It just shows a lack of respect for this president when a leader of a major power in the region decides not to attend a summit chaired by the President of the United States.
And Fred, does it concern you that one of the excuses was those two countries? There were two, you've got a socialist country and you got a communist country, very, very close to the Chinese. And is Mexico aligning themselves perhaps more with them than they are with us at this point?
The nations of Central and South America have traditionally objected when we've tried to exclude Cuba because they consider Cuba a member of the club. I don't know if that necessarily means that Mexico's siding with them, but I think there's pressure and anti-Americanism that resents when we make a decision like that. Mm-hmm. But, another issue here that was pretty prominent is Trump was sort of on the mind of Biden at this meeting. He tried to make it clear that he's pursuing a non-Trump policy, that America is back, that he's going to be collaborating with our allies. We know Donald Trump collaborated with our allies. We know that that is simply a lie that this administration has circulated. And I think the nations of the region realize that this administration doesn't have a policy for this hemisphere. It's struggling in every way. We can see that with all these illegal aliens streaming across the border, the fact that we don't know what to do with Central America, and then we have major nations boycotting a meeting headed by the President of the United States.
Fred, the big elephant in the room throughout this whole thing was China, and China's aggressive investment and its activity here continuing to press into our hemisphere. Biden and Harris never talked about it. It was never brought up. If we're not addressing the communists making inroads in our backyard, what was the point of this thing?
Yeah, that should have been the focus of this because the Chinese influence is vast. They're buying up resources. They're also buying up resources and building infrastructure projects to affect elections. They help people win elections by buying a bridge or setting up an airport. So the candidate who they want to have influence with will win that election and will later give China benefits later on. It's a huge investment in these countries to set up access to mineral resources, crops, and also to give China political influence. Mm-hmm. And I don't think this administration has any concept of this.
Yeah, billions of dollars that are going into a dozen countries in Central and South America, including Mexico. And it was never even brought up. What was brought up was immigration. Let's talk about the crisis on the southern border. President Biden yesterday signed a new agreement with the other leaders to confront what they call mass migration. What do we know about this agreement, Fred, and what impact could it have on our border crisis here?
It seems like it will have no impact at all unless we have a solid remain in Mexico policy, a policy where the Mexican government agrees to stop these illegal aliens from crossing the border. Window dressing like agreements like Biden just signed isn't going to have any effect. We've heard these statements by Kamala Harris that, we're going to talk to leaders of Central America and stop people from coming north. that's not going to have any effect either. These governments can't control their borders, but we know the Mexican government can if it wants to, but it doesn't want to under this administration.
Yeah, and I always get nervous when they start talking about refugees, and sort of, because it always, under Democrats, it gets expanded. The definition of refugee kind of gets expanded, and we know that most of these illegals that are coming in are not political refugees. They're coming here for economic reasons. They're coming here because they are being told that we are going to essentially care for them. There's also a lot of aid that is in this, more taxpayer money going into these countries. Real quick, in terms of the aid package, was that accomplished? Is that money well spent or not?
I don't think it's going to have any effect, because there has to be a political price that these nations pay if they don't protect their borders, if they don't stop people from coming north. And that's not going to happen. We're going to throw money at them. The illegal aliens will cross the border anyway. And, you know, we know a lot of these people are not even from this hemisphere.
Right.
Some of them are from Africa. Some of them are from the Middle East. Some of them are terrorists. Some of them are drug dealers. It's a serious, serious threat to our national security. And as I said, we've seen window dressing, fake proposals, and Biden and Harris haven't even been to the southern border.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Fred Fleitz, thank you for breaking that down for us today. Appreciate it.
Good to be here.